Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fat Guy with a Ponytail. At least that's what I'm calling it. Seems to stick. At any rate, here we're tracking the progress of me through bariatric surgery and seeing how we end or trace our process through this. Apologize. There were plans to do edits and things like that, but and that may come along as I figure out things like Media Composer and the like. But in the meantime, unedited, unfiltered, um, and again, probably mostly for myself to look at this kind of stuff and see where I've tracked. So, current stats today are so we're down to 320, and we're down there because we've started the 48 hour process of clear fluids. We kind of started a false start of that 48 hours prior to that to sort of see what it felt like. I thought I might be able to do a longer period of time, and for the most part, I did okay. But there was a lot of meat, I guess, for the barbecue season. And I think it all stems from I had planned to reward, uh, or at least, I guess it's a reward. Uh, my daughter's boyfriend's, he got a bunch of steaks and he left in the freezer. So we supplemented them with a little other meats and things like that and cooked up basically a meat fiesta on the grill on Friday while I was on clear liquids for the first go. And that smelled so good. And I decided that I would break it before it was medically necessary because the 48 hours prior to surgery, you really have to be clear for a lot of reasons. Obviously, if they're going to do work on your stomach and intestines and things like that, you got to be well hydrated and have all that shit cleared out, so you can't really be doing that. Read some crazy stuff on other boards where people are eating pizza and things like that beforehand. Not this guy. I'm not gonna mess around. So we're on clears, and to be fair, when I had that meat fiesta, a little mini Lego-sized fogo de chao, it's a little bit of kielbasa, a little bit of steak, a little bit of burger, and when I'm saying like this big, at any rate, those were kind of spread out, and had a taste of all those, and it was really great. Um, and then we're on clear fluids, which means a lot of what I'm doing for fluid work is protein H2O or protein 2O. I think the harvest grape, which is not my favorite flavor. It tastes something like a grape would taste if left out in a desert. I'm not sure. It's you can taste the protein. No one will convince me otherwise. Other forms of protein that I'm able to take in liquid form are broth, bone broth, which I think I spoke in a previous episode about how we trick ourselves into um, certain mind games to help us get through things. In the earlier case, it was the CPAP and going into space, or launching into a fighter craft. These are things that I fantasized about as a kid. In this case, it's a piece of fiction that I read a long time ago. It was Dragonlance Legends, and there's a chapter in this. It's a good story. It all goes back to Caramon, who, in case you haven't noticed, I don't think you can see from the background in here like this. Not only am I a guitar nerd, but I'm also a nerd. So D&D, all of that stuff. I mean, the Doctor Who scarf in the first episode kind of gave that away. Hopefully, the shirt. This is pretty much who I am. So the book, in this case, original Dragonlance Chronicles, we get introduced to Caramon, who's a character who's big fighter type. And at the end of the story, he ends up with Tika Whalen. They live in the inn, and net effect between Series 1 and Series 2 is Caramon really lets himself go. So at some point in Legends, they time travel back, and he's needed to be a gladiator. So they need to get him into shape, and so what he winds up drinking is broth. That's the kickoff, and it's weird that I would remember this. I was, gosh, I don't know, 1987, 88, but it stuck with me. It was one of those sort of, oh wow, I didn't know you could do that. I never thought I would do that, quite honestly. But sure enough, as I'm digging into each bowl of broth, I'm thinking to myself, if Caramon can do it, I can do it. Um, so, and it's turning out okay. I get about 10 grams of protein in that. I get 30 grams in a shake, but I can't have those. So it's 15 grams of the protein H2O or protein 2O, and and then it's water and vitamin water, which has a little bit more vitamin B and things like that in it. Getting through that. Um, what else can I tell you other than so we've got less than 24 hours. 5:30 tomorrow is surgery prep. Like I'm actually at the hospital. My dad's giving me a ride, so it should be an entertaining episode that I'll try to capture some video from tomorrow. Guess they won't let me drive into the hospital and drive back out. I'm supposed to be over there overnight. If everything goes well, I'll be out. Um, it should be relatively simple. They say the procedure takes 75 minutes or so. Um, I'm a little bit nervous, trying to stay on those clears, trying to, stay focused, keep busy, and otherwise distract myself. I think it was really challenging yesterday because not only did we have Ren Fair Saturday, which was all of my favorite foods and all of my favorite people drinking all my favorite things, of which I could have none. So no beer, no big old honkin' turkey leg, no pickle, no I could have the pickle juice, but and no pretzel. Favorite things that I remember distinctly, and dosing up hard. I'm lucky that my girlfriend has been supplying massive quantities of this and really forcing that stuff into my face. I do tend to forget those things as I get busy doing other things. In fact, I shot this video once already and got so wrapped in trying to figure out what went wrong with that initial take that I basically forgot to take any more protein. So I've since corrected that, and we'll try to stay on top of that as the day goes on. But yesterday was Labor Day, and of course everybody has a barbecue on Labor Day, and we got invited to two friends' places to go. Initially we said no, but I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to get used to interacting, and also, as a sort of, I don't know, masochistic streak in my universe of trying to practice my discipline. So going amongst those people and not having any of those great foods. There were ribs, there were more hot dogs, more hamburgers, cake, cookies, chocolate, basically everything delicious. And I just sat there sipping on my delicious protein water that's on ice, because the colder you get things, the better off it's going to be. So far, mood is not horrible. And I made it through both Ren Fair and the two barbecues, and hit the sack about 10:30 last night. Got up about 7 o'clock this morning, doing a little bit more chores and stuff like that, and I guess we'll continue like that until the evening comes. As I think about it, still kind of, this is really going to happen. But it's necessary. I still think it's the right course of action, because I don't trust myself to stick with it and just eat right and move more like I've failed to do for the past couple years. So we're down to 320. Maybe we'll lose a pound before tomorrow morning. I'm not sure it matters, but that's not a bad start. Hopefully, with things going the way that they're going, it'll be better. We're looking down the barrel of liquids for the first week after surgery, and then pureed for the second week, and then soft foods, where I am looking forward to eggs. I just want an egg, and I can't have an egg, and I'm not going to drink an egg. Yuck. No, I will not. And pureed foods, dicey. I don't know. We're going to see how that goes. I think it's going to be extended liquids, but we'll try a few things. And I've resigned myself to the fact that because the body can react pretty strongly about things, that vomiting is entirely possible, perhaps even a little likely. I'll try to capture that in drunk history fashion for you all, so we can all have a good laugh afterward. What else? Oh yes, and during the pureed stage, I'm supposed to see a baseball game with my dad. I'd booked the tickets earlier, and the timing worked out that way. So It is what it is. It's an opportunity to see the Orioles lose close up because I think we got box seats behind home plate. Wouldn't want to miss that. And the Toronto Blue Jays. You never know. Geddy Lee could be there. And, it'd be nice to talk about pureed food. I don't know. Or Rush. Or music. Or just look and giggle a lot. Anyway, there's that. But more importantly, there's the gig that I've got on September 21st. So we're going to be playing that gig. And that I'm going to have to really be on top of all the fluids, getting the protein in. Yes, I'll be soft foods, so I can definitely load up on some eggs ahead of time and keep those handy. But we usually play in a heat, pretty decent heat, so keeping things cool might be another challenge. I think I can do it, but it's a very physical set. Every time I play with this band, it's a very physical thing. It's kind of what drove me here, as we talked about. Anyhow, we'll see how that goes. I'll see you soon as we track how my progress goes. And who knows what happens next.